Hello.
Hello.
Hello, John. You're
Hello.
here.
Hello, I am indeed.
I'm here.
I was going to call you Chris then.
That's very strange.
That's odd.
I wouldn't enjoy that at all.
Fun fact. There is a gentleman who backed me on Kickstarter who goes by the name, or went by the name, it's not his real name, of Rayman.
Rayman.
As in two separate.
Are you sure that wasn't me?
It wasn't you, because you also backed me.
Yes, I did.
Under
I remember doing it.
Under Gog's name.
When does my money come out? Or has it already?
Yes, no, about... In September it came out.
Oh, that's good then. I budgeted for that already.
I'm glad you're so...
I was wondering how much was going to come out of my account.
I'm glad you're so flush with cash.
Well,
this is not a concern.
Got a disposable income.
You mean
I haven't.
You mean
I haven't.
My money's free to spend?
Yeah. No, I have not.
I'm weary.
Yes, I think we both are. I think we're both glad we have tomorrow off. Today being a Thursday.
It's been
tomorrow being a Friday.
It's been a long
usually.
week. It's felt like a long week, which is weird.
Yes. Well, we were just saying before we came on air
in the studio,
that we've just had one of those weeks in one respect or another.
Just kind of. Sorry, I'm choking on my own rage and this delicious cider. So
it's a Stowford Press, if you can imagine such a thing.
Hasn't it come on such a way?
It's the brand of choice.
Yeah, it's a nice little matte finish.
It's lovely, isn't
can.
it? How do you feel about matte finish cans?
I like it so much that if I had a private detective, I would call him Matt Finish.
It's a good name.
Thank you.
I'd call it Gloss Finish as a rival detective.
Gloss Laminate.
Gloss Laminate, yeah. That's a good one.
How do I feel? Well, we had a hipster beer on Tuesday night, didn't we?
Did you? Well, we did. I was there, yeah. No, I remember.
Yeah.
Now I remember.
That appears to be the look at the moment, doesn't it? It comes in like those Diddy Kangs, matte
the
finish.
first time I drank a beer out of what I would describe as a Coke can size was in Canada.
That is true.
Delicious Kokanee.
That is true.
God, I miss it.
In fact, I think I'm having a flashback. Have we not had this conversation before?
Potentially.
Yeah.
We've certainly had it before. It's whether we've had it whilst recording before.
What are your plans, Segway, for your day off?
I'm going to Manchester, up in the north.
Gasp.
To see a friend who I was best man for last year.
Oh.
I haven't seen him since the wedding. Because he lives in Thailand.
That was about a year ago, wasn't it?
It was his anniversary about 3 days ago.
Because I had just had my surgery.
You had, and we phoned you from the wedding.
You did.
Although we replaced you with a guy who had been invited because you couldn't make it to the day event. And I can't remember for the life of me what his name was.
I didn't realise that. I didn't realise he was...
Yeah, he was your replacement.
Well, I thought you were doing that because he reminded you of me in some way.
He looked a bit like you. There's probably a photo of him somewhere. Anyway, we called him New Jon, which was pretty... We enjoyed it.
I'm not dead.
Yeah. Well, it was like... He turned up, hi, my name's whatever it was, Craig. Welcome, John. That was pretty much how it went.
Yeah, John always dances for us. Danks.
Yeah. Oh, he was
Danks.
trying to get fresh by the end of the night.
Oh.
New John. He was unlike you in that regard, in that he would turn out he was a pervert.
Oh.
And you're not, as far as I know.
Thank you. Well, not in public.
Not that I've seen.
No. You're just not my type.
No, well, that's a shame.
Speaking of things which are quintessentially...
Quintessentially, it's been a long week.
Quintessentially John is stumbling over his words. Quintessentially John is my love of a bit of funk.
Yes, you do enjoy funk.
I do like funk. And I discovered that... What did I discover? Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, no.
I'm so excited. Spotify is doing very well at the moment.
It's a popular brand, Spotify, yes.
Spotify, based on its algorithms and my past listening
Oh,
habits,
yeah, I do. I think I know what you want to say.
Yeah. Well, it's been spitting out some...
Daily mix,
yeah,
they call it. Well, whilst walking down here, I found a playlist called Your Summer Revisited, or Rewind, or something like that. It was nothing but Motown. Which I was delighted about. I've been listening to Stevie Wonder on the way down here.
Is that your kitchen... Is that a throwback to your kitchen funk playlist?
No, I think it's just what we've been listening to for most of the summer. It's accurate in that regard.
As a segue, because we have many segues, or a little sidebar.
A caveat to the segue.
Sidebar, Your Honour. We had delicious pork round your house. And I think that was within the last 2 weeks.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was remarkable.
It was all right, wasn't it?
And
it was a successful cooking
and the
experiment.
Motown and the funk and the
well, there
soul.
was some
bit of disco as well. Which
and we watched the John Williams concert.
We did.
After that,
we did,
which was enjoyable.
And Taskmaster, which has been a real gem of a discovery.
Oh, it really has. Thank you to Will Train.
Will Train
for that. I know he listens.
Impeccable taste.
Yeah, I know he listens. No, it's a great show. We're working our way through them. Very good show. Watch it if you haven't.
What was I saying a second ago?
You were talking about being quintessentially John.
Yes. Spotify,
that's the one.
doing very well for itself.
It is.
It recommended a track on it because I listen to not the Daily Mix, but I listen to Discover Weekly, and it basically every week.
Okay, like new stuff.
Every week you get a fresh 30 songs
based on what you like.
Yeah, and genuinely, there's always at least 2 things on it which I love. And then I go and
find
check out the artist. Yeah. But they recommended this song played, and I was like, "Oh, this is a cover of Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen, which is a song I like." And I was like, "Oh, this is good. This sounds like Hot Chip." And I looked it up.
It was Hot Chip.
And it was Hot Chip.
There you go.
And I was like,
you've got an ear for it now, Luke.
I was like, "Oh, it's great." So I went and listened to the whole track, and not only is it Hot Chip, a band who are a bit funky, I quite like, doing a cover of Bruce Springsteen song Dancing in the Dark, a song I like.
Yes.
Towards the end of the song, it turns into an LCD sound system song. And if there's one thing if
there's a song that speaks to you, that's probably it.
So yeah,
lovely.
I'm enjoying the funk at the moment. It's very good.
One thing we've not talked about, and I was thinking on my way down here, and I thought this will speak to the funky side of John.
Oh my.
It's the trailer for the new Thor movie.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
I have. I've seen both.
Yeah, the latest one.
It's very good.
Good God, it looks good.
It looks remarkable.
I think if there's a Marvel film that speaks to you, I keep thinking it's that one.
I think I'm one of the few people who carries a torch for Thor 2.
I watched Thor 2 about a week ago. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
This is a weird thing. Like most people, and I freely admit I'm odd here. Most people are like, "Oh, it's okay."
I like Thor.
Interesting.
Because when I was in Canada with you, I bought a Thor book. You'll remember. By Straczynski?
Michael J. Straczynski.
Straczynski, there you go. Which I enjoyed very much.
It was very good. I think my brother owns the exact same one.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere, I don't know.
With art by Olivia Capel.
Oh.
True story. I met Olivia Capel.
Did you?
At...
This woman I've just remembered the name of.
That is a man.
Man? Olivia?
He's French.
Olivier.
Okay.
I thought you said Olivia.
Sorry, I'm very tired.
That's fine.
I have a cold.
Oh, so he pronounces B's as D's? I understand.
Right. No, I met him at the 2011 Kapow Comic Con.
Did you?
I was there as a punter.
Sure.
And he is an astonishingly talented artist. You've got the book.
Yes.
But he is up there. He's one of my favourite artists of all time. And I am more of a writer guy, obviously.
Yes, of course.
But if I have a dream, it would be to work with him. But there's me.
That's a level,
down here, and there's
he's
him.
out of your league at the moment, John. Well, but things can change.
We can dream.
Things can change.
A man can dream. But
years ago, you wouldn't have ever dreamt that Richard Elson would be involved in Afterlife Inc. I'm quite sure.
And Richard Elson worked on Thor.
There you go.
Coming full circle.
See, it's all connecting.
But as a nice little story, I knew Robin in particular. My brother is a big fan of Olivia Capel.
Olivier.
So he was like, when this thing came up saying that he was doing a signing, I was like, oh, I'll get something.
signed.
Robin.
Yeah,
and I didn't really.
Thoughtful thing to do, John.
I don't really queue to get signatures.
No, I don't blame you. Sounds awful.
But I was like, oh, I need something for him to sign. I didn't bring anything, so I went over to the nearest person who was selling comics.
Yeah.
And I flicked through the box, and I just picked an issue of Thor, a random one, which had his art on the cover.
Yeah.
So I queued for about an hour. It was a long queue, and I swear, the guy.
I don't know how long the average queue is.
That was quite long. Yeah. But then the guy in front of me had a stack of books.
That's a nightmare.
And the guy behind me had a stack of books.
And you had the one.
And I just had one.
I bet he loved you.
I gotta say, he seemed genuinely happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, I want. Yeah. Let it out.
The thing is with these people who get loads of stuff signed, they don't need all that stuff signed. That's going on eBay.
It's going on eBay.
That's the thing.
It's horrible.
It should be limited to 5, say, per person.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He's paid to be there, and he's not paying by the signature.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's if the roles were reversed, I'd be a bit kind of.
I'd be put out by the fact that someone's going to make money by me. Doing that.
Because if someone
not in a thrifty way, but just in that underhand ethical manner.
Because if somebody drops 50 books in front of you,
yeah, It's going to hurt your wrist for a start.
Yeah, like maybe there's a genuine story. Maybe they're like, oh no, like I love each of these books and they'll be with me forever.
But then you don't need them all signed.
Possibly
What's the
not.
benefit of having them all signed?
It devalues it. I'd rather have one very special thing.
He could be an imposter.
It's true.
Think about it.
Yeah.
The only person I would queue for and thought about doing it was Ian McDiarmid, who plays the Emperor.
The Emperor, yeah.
I thought because he was at London Film and Comic Con.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Last month, and I genuinely considered going and queuing, but I decided against it. But you know, in the future, I'd love to meet him.
It was like the very first show I did as an exhibitor. Stan Lee was exhibiting, and at the time they were like, "It's his first UK appearance in 30 years, and possibly his last." And he's done like
keeps
10.
going, doesn't he, Stan Lee?
But apparently, that process, because they just got thousands of people, it was like a meat market.
Yeah,
and he's an old man.
Oh,
well.
yeah. What is he, 90s now? His wife died recently.
Yeah, it was quite sad, actually. But he just got his handprints outside is it the Chinese Theatre in Hollywood? Yeah, the famous one.
Yeah. Not a star.
No,
is that the same thing?
No, it's a different thing. But he might already have a star, actually.
Because the stars, I think, just go all over Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like
there was what was I watching? A Carpool Karaoke. And he was with Usher, James Corden.
Oh, right.
And he just went, "Oh, my star's over here."
Oh, he's got a star.
Yeah, everyone's got a star.
It's not quite as democratic as you might think, or it's not like, oh, that person has achieved so much.
Yeah.
They clearly have a star.
Seems to be flavour of the moment.
It's a private.
It's there forever.
It's a private enterprise. You have to petition them.
One.
You do a lot of campaigning.
Yeah.
It costs a bit of money.
I haven't got one, so I can't judge.
Anyway, just to wrap up the Olivia Capel story.
Do it.
I got to the queue. Got to the end of the queue. The guy had just walked off with his stack of books.
Put them straight on eBay.
And I turn up and I've got, just this one book.
Yeah.
And he genuinely seemed pleased. And I said to him, look, hey man, I love your work.
Yeah.
Your work is astounding. But my brother loves your work even more.
Yeah.
Could you sign this for me? And he's of course, he's just smiling, lovely guy.
Yeah.
And he goes to sign it. And little did I realise that this random comic I'd picked up was not just a cover. It was a fold-out cover.
Oh, really?
It was like the 300th issue Spectacular.
Right.
So completely unfolded.
Yeah.
It was maybe like...
Oh, that's cool.
Over a metre long.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's amazing.
I didn't know that.
So a guy signed for him, and he couldn't be nicer. Lovely bloke. And my brother's now got it framed.
Has he?
Like, took it off the comic, and it's like a super landscape.
Oh, there you go.
picture.
Well, that worked out.
Yeah, it was remarkable.
I love stories that work out. But the trailer looks good.
It does look good.
I
really like
funky.
I really like the first one with Led Zeppelin. Immigrant
that
Song.
was great.
It's badass.
But there was even the music on this was sort of like, this is funky.
I heard a very cool story.
Did you?
You may stop me if you heard this one. You know, in the first trailer when Thor gets led out into the arena.
Yes.
And it's very...
I know. Tell the story. I know what you're going to say.
And the Hulk comes out and he goes, yes!
Yeah.
He's a friend from work!
Yeah.
And the story is that there was a Make-A-Wish kid visiting the set and he suggested that joke.
That's cool, isn't it?
And not only did it make it into the movie, it made it into the trailer.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
That's a good thing. It was funny though when he said it in the trailer. I laughed. It seems quite funnier than the other Thor films.
That's
which do have their moments, but aren't sort of.
But that's a weird thing. Like I really dug Thor 2.
Yeah,
like, I found it a very funny movie, and I loved the weirdness of it. It went super weird, and I was like, I can't believe they're getting away with how weird it is.
That's the way they're going now.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
they're going to go weirder.
But the leading theory is that, or maybe I'm wrong, because the Asgardians, they're like off in another world. Is it magic? Is it super technology?
Yes.
Are they aliens that just look like humans? Whatever. They're not really gods. They're more like beings from another world.
Yeah.
But then there's, of course, within the Thor movies, there's always been this kind of cosmic element. Like, maybe they're in another dimension, but they can also, I don't know, go to space and kind of move through the universe. So this movie is all the trailers have been very kind of like Technicolor and everything is so colourful, and it's got like, it looks like an episode of like the Transformers cartoon, like with big, like the font and everything. So now Thor is off on this big sci-fi planet, and there's a theory that he'll get back to Earth.
Yeah.
With the Guardians of the Galaxy.
We're getting into things that that are spoilers now.
Oh, if you
don't want spoilers,
things?
I've seen things.
I've
seen a lot of things.
I've seen things, yeah.
I saw the leaked footage of the trailer they played at D23.
Oh, hang on. Let me just take a sip so I can do a spit take. So you've seen...
I've seen that.
The Infinity War trailer.
I have.
I have not.
I've seen it.
Good God. I would very much like to have seen it. I did even do a sneaky little search on YouTube, and of course it was not
We'll
there.
try and find out after this, because I'm sure I'll be able to find it.
It had been taken down.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to hear it, switch off now.
I'm conflicted. I don't know what to say.
Do you want me to tell you?
I want to hear it. Well, we might as well. Okay,
if you don't want to hear it,
ladies and gentlemen, spoilers now. We will skip to this time code if you want to avoid spoilers.
17 minutes 0 seconds.
The opening of the trailer is that the Guardians are going through space.
Okay.
And they're just generally going through space, and Thor lands on their windshield.
Right.
Like he's unconscious.
Okay.
And he just lands on their windshield, and Rocket goes, "Oh, get it off! Turn the wipers on!" And then they bring him in. The what's her name with the antenna?
Mantis.
Mantis revives him, and then he goes, "Who the hell are you people?" And then it kicks into the trailer.
Wow.
So I think that'll be the end of Ragnarok. Thor.
It's like drifting.
I suspect that will be the post-credits scene for Ragnarok. So that's definitely happening. Yes.
Wow.
I won't tell you all of it.
No, off air we can talk about it.
But that's
because I personally love spoilers, but it will make the rest of the podcast quite problematic.
Yeah. I like spoilers enough to keep me interested, but not to spoil the film.
Well, back into the room post that spoiler.
Back in the room.
I really like the last couple of Marvel movies. For me, have merely just been all right, and I'm not really counting Spider-Man in that because that's like a Sony.
It's a weird hybrid.
Yeah. As a side note, I absolutely loved Spider-Man.
Yes,
Homecoming.
I did.
Thought it was fantastic.
Enjoyed it very much. I haven't seen it again. I would like to.
I know, me too as well. But the last two Marvel movies, which I think were like Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, both kind of a bit meh.
I thought Doctor Strange was a bit meh.
Yeah.
I loved Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, cool.
I loved it. I thought I'm looking forward to it coming out on Blu-ray, which must be soon.
I maybe like to watch it again. I thought it
was... I was a bit drunk when we watched it, but I thought it was hilarious.
It was very funny. I found it a bit like... I thought the plot was a bit weaker. Which is, I know it's like a...
I remember saying to you that I thought it was a good sequel.
Yes.
In that you had to have seen the first one.
It felt a bit like treading water. It was more like, we're just going to spend some time with these characters.
It was character development.
Yeah, and it was like... But you love these characters, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But...
Marvel's quite good at doing films. Say it's a sequel, say it's Iron Man 2 or Captain America 2. You don't necessarily have to have watched the first one.
Yeah.
They're their own stories.
Yeah.
This was different in that you had to know who these people were and the context of what was happening.
But Doctor Strange...
I loved it. Doctor Strange was fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rush to watch it again.
Yeah. It was all
Cumberbatch
right.
was good. He's always good, Cumberbatch.
He was, yeah. He's a bit, yeah. It's rather hard to, like...
Solid.
It's rather hard to get over the fact that he's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. There are those sort of actors, aren't they?
What did you think about his American accent?
It sounded like Benedict Cumberbatch doing an American accent. Or Sherlock doing an American accent.
I think it wobbled a couple of times. I think the problem was... I
think he's going to be in Thor.
I wouldn't be... Well, I mean, the end
of
Doctor
Thor,
Strange.
Yeah.
I love how Thor has slowly morphed over the movies into just Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's got...
That comedy sketch they did with his roommate.
Well, even now, like, he's got a beard and they shave his hair.
Yeah.
And it strikes
me...
I
don't fancy this long hair anymore.
That's the thing. It strikes me more and more like, look, people like me, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
It's like his accent, I think, has got more and more Aussie as the movies have gone on.
That's why they got Kate Blanchett in. So he seems less Australian by comparison.
We saw the second Hobbit movie.
Yes, I've seen it.
Because I've not seen it. And I didn't really care for the Hobbit.
No, I
didn't.
The
first one.
I didn't like any of them, particularly.
I liked the second one more. But than the first one. But I didn't think a lot of the first one, so that's not really saying much. It felt a little pointless. I was like, I know chronologically the Hobbit came first.
Yes.
But because we've seen all of this before...
Thing is, you saw... The Lord of the Rings was a better made set of movies, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Undoubtedly.
I think they're still masterpieces, the Lord of the Rings films.
Yes.
I think they're wonderful.
Really want to watch them all again. I want to chain them.
B, The Hobbit was always a kid's book.
Yes.
And Lord of the Rings was the follow-on for when those kids were a bit older.
Yeah, the big
and the
epic.
adults and whatever. You didn't need to put The Hobbit into 3 films. It was very...
It kept spiralling out of control, because originally...
It was very bloated by the end.
I think there was talk at one point it was going to be 1 movie.
Yeah.
Then it turned into 2 movies. It was
Yeah.
going to be there and back again.
The original end of the first film was when Bard the Bowman finds the dwarves.
Really?
That was going to be the end of the first film, originally.
Really?
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that would be pretty much halfway through the whole thing.
So, yeah, I didn't care for them, to be honest.
I didn't like the first one at all.
And there's a lot of CGI in The Hobbit as well.
But
Too much.
But that's the weird thing, isn't it? It's a bit like, as we were talking about, when Marvel do a movie which is maybe less than perfect. It's like, I still kind of enjoy this world, and I enjoy the characters. So it's kind of like when I'm watching the first Hobbit, and I'm like, why am I not enjoying this? Like, there's a lot of good. Like, this is still better than, like, I don't know, insert bad movie.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of care has gone into this.
Yeah.
But why is it not working?
Another element that distracted me was that that's Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
That's James Nesbitt. That's Richard Armitage.
I find James Nesbitt very distracting.
Yeah, it's just James Nesbitt in a hat.
Why should I know Armitage?
He's in Spooks.
Right.
He was in Spooks. He was in The Vicar of Dibley, actually. I say not so long ago, years ago, actually. He was Dawn French's husband in The Vicar of Dibley.
Oh.
He's been in a few things.
I only vaguely remember.
You'd recognise him from British television, I'd imagine.
Yeah. The thing is, I mentioned to you in the past week or so, you should really watch Castlevania on Netflix.
Yes, you did.
And I think Richard Armitage does the voice of the main character.
I'll tell you what else he's in.
Tell me.
He's in Captain America, the First Avenger.
Is he?
He's the Nazi that kills the scientist when he changes.
Oh, he's the agent.
What are they called? Hydra.
Hydra, yeah, he's like the sneaky guy.
Yeah, and he eats a cyanide pill.
Oh.
That's him.
It's funny what putting a big beard on someone can do.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's alright. It's not as good as Lord of the Rings, and then it by comparison becomes less good than even moderate.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it was like at the end of the first Hobbit movie, like they're up that tree, and then the eagles swoop in to rescue them, and it's meant to be like, ooh, like stirring. But all I'm thinking is, we've seen the eagles.
We've seen the eagles
like twice, and each time when they rescue Gandalf, when they rescue the hobbits at the end, each time it was more emotionally resonant.
Yeah.
I really want to watch the trilogy, the original trilogy again. Like, I want to see.
We should do that.
We should do. I want to do it in a day. Like
I'll do it. I'll be very happy to do it.
Let's do it.
Liz doesn't fancy watching them, so I'll watch them with you.
Has she seen them?
I think she's seen one of them and she didn't care for it.
Oh, okay.
So that's fine. I'll watch it with you.
Grand. We'll do it.
Let's do it.
I've known you longer.
So what were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about...
We were making social
arrangements. We were talking about
arrangements.
movies and the like, and how we're excited for Thor.
Yes, we are. Certainly.
Yeah.
November.
Is there another one? Is there something else coming out? I feel like there's something else I was excited about.
There's the Disaster Artist.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Which, of course, you still haven't seen The Room.
No, I've seen clips from The Room. I've seen around half an hour of footage.
There's many movies which are like... okay, maybe a bad reference because I don't think you've seen it, but are you aware of Avatar, The Last Airbender?
I have seen Avatar. Oh,
not...
The Last Airbender.
Yeah, the other Avatar.
There's a film called Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Well, okay, so...
That's confusing.
Okay, it's a little complex. There was a cartoon series in the 2000s called Avatar.
I think we've spoken about
Last
this on
Airbender.
this podcast.
And it is genuinely brilliant.
Yeah,
Like
I'm sure we have.
But it's really remarkable.
And the
It's
film's
very, very
garbage.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point. The film is astonishingly bad. It's by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes.
And that's one of those movies where everybody talks about how bad it is. And we tried watching it, and I was like, oh, this will be entertaining.
Yeah, because it's so bad. It's
It's painful. It's so bad. I'm like, I can't watch this. I got maybe quarter of an hour in.
Yeah.
The Room, by contrast,
yeah, you can watch The Room.
is as entertaining as
it's a cult film now.
yeah.
There's the proper screenings of it go on
Yeah.
at big cinemas.
Saw some footage of it. Like people, you have to throw spoons at the screen every time a spoon appears in a framed picture in the film. But no, The Room is brilliant.
It's brilliant in its rubbishness.
But of course, Greg Sestero, I think, or Sestero, who played Mark in the movie.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. He wrote a book about his experiences called The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
Which Ali is currently reading.
Yes.
And she's been telling us some anecdotes.
Interesting stories.
It is insane.
Yeah.
And it's been made into a movie.
I'm looking forward to it.
It looks very interesting.
Well, we still watched the trailer for it with James Franco and Seth Rogen and Dave Franco, who plays the man who wrote the book.
Oh, really? That's
his brother.
The other Franco.
The other Franco. And that was funny, the trailer. So it's them doing that iconic line, but he keeps forgetting the line. You've probably seen it.
For anyone listening who perhaps hasn't seen...
For anyone who hasn't switched off.
It's essentially, there's a very, very, very odd man called Tommy Wiseau. And he could be 40, he could be 80.
Nobody knows.
Nobody has any idea.
Nobody knows where he's from, how old he is.
Where his money came from.
Where he spawned.
He's very, very rich. But he made a movie called The Room. I think in like 2003 or something like that.
It looks like it was made in the 80s.
Well, there's that. And it is, it's almost like if there's a dictionary definition of like a bad movie, this would be it.
There'd be a big picture
It's
of it.
nonsensical, it's melodramatic, it's overblown, it's ridiculous when it's trying to be serious.
He's changed his tact on it. I think he originally intended it to be serious, and he's sort of gone, oh no, it's like a black comedy.
But the thing is, like, normally, if somebody made a crappy little movie, no one cares.
Yeah.
The world forgets about it.
Yeah.
But because he spent millions on it, and because he spent millions promoting it, and seemed to have no self-awareness, and honestly thought it was going to be massive.
Smash, yeah.
That's what makes
Which
it
it
kind
sort
of
of has been. He's probably done alright out of it in the end.
Well, I mean, he has a career.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. Like the whole world is.
I'm sure he makes his appearances, and
he does. I mean, the whole world is kind of like laughing at him.
Yeah.
But
as long as you laugh with people, are they ever really laughing at you?
Well, I think they're laughing at him.
No, they are. Yes, that's correct.
Because if a man had any self-awareness, he wouldn't have made The Room. You know?
Yeah.
But Ali was saying like random stuff from
I bet it was mental.
Real life stuff.
It.
Like he insisted on making. He was like, because he just had money to burn. Like, where did this money come from? It's like Greg was brought in to play Mark.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like the guy who was playing Mark.
Right.
But they didn't tell the guy.
So he turned up.
Yeah. And they filmed every scene twice.
Oh, God.
With both Marks.
Why?
And everybody knew.
So he carried, even after he'd been sacked?
Yeah, like he didn't tell him he was being sacked.
So they filmed his scenes and then just went, we won't use
and
them.
then he's like, why are we filming it again? He's like, Greg just needs something for his portfolio. So we do the whole scene again. And then Ali was saying, then when this guy was like, hang on a minute, what the hell was going on here?
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau just paid him like 3,000 quid just to go
Hush money.
Just to go away.
Ridiculous.
And then he had another thing where he was like, because he was the star and the producer and the director, he was like, I deserve my own toilet.
Oh, yeah.
So he had a toilet constructed.
Nice.
In the studio. And it wasn't, but you think like, oh, okay, maybe he had like a luxury toilet.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that. It had
Just
like a
normal
curtain across the door.
Yeah, he's a bit of a maverick, that guy. He seems it.
He's a maverick renegade.
Yeah, everyone is.
Anyway, Rev,
John.
Continuing our recent trend of me falling down a Wikipedia hole, learning random things, and then bringing them to you.
Sure.
How do you like a mystery?
Go on.
Well, let me paint you.
This sounds like you've prepared something.
Well, semi.
Yeah.
Let me paint you a picture.
A word picture.
It's 1948.
Yes.
In Melbourne.
Sure.
Australia.
Do you know?
It's somewhere in Australia.
Somewhere in Australia.
And a body is found. A dead body is found on a beach.
Heavens.
Like kind of leaning against a the embankment wall, dead.
Yeah.
As most dead bodies are.
Most dead bodies are dead, yes.
He has no identification on him. All the labels have been cut out of his clothing, which is not unusual in itself.
No.
I think his only personal effects are like a box of cigarettes and a book of matches. That's it.
Okay.
Nobody can identify this man.
Yes.
They have no idea.
Yes.
It's 1948.
Yes.
They then find at the nearby train station a suitcase.
Oh.
Which no one has claimed.
Okay.
They come to the conclusion that it belonged to this man. They open the suitcase and they find some clothes, all with the labels cut out.
Yeah.
They find a dining knife.
Yeah.
Which has been filed to a kind of spike.
Okay.
They find a small square of zinc.
Oh. Come back, zinc!
And they find some dry cleaning tags.
Right.
Which have a name on them, like a surname, Keen. But all the other details have been trimmed off.
Yeah.
And upon later inspection, they find in the man's pocket a small piece of paper rolled up into a ball.
Yeah.
And they unroll it, and it has the words Talman Shud written on it in like a kind of Hebrew style font. And this has become known as the Talmud Shud mystery.
Right. It's not. Has it been solved?
No.
Oh.
Because there's a little bit more to it. They realised that the words Talmud Shud were a... I think it was something like it was Hebrew for like the end.
Right.
Or this has ended.
Okay.
And it was from... Because someone came forward and said, I know where that's from. They'd found a car. And in the car, which was abandoned, was a book. Right. And it was a book of like 14th century poems. And that piece of paper had been torn off the last page in the book. And opening the book, they found like pencil marks.
Yeah.
Kind of like where something had been pressed. You know, like when you write very hard.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
And they found like a load of letters, as in alphabetical letters,
right,
written in odd rows. So someone had been transcribing letters in but gibberish.
Right, it didn't. I was going to say that it.
And then one line had been crossed out, and then he carried on, and it looked like a cipher, like a code, like an encryption code, and there was also the address of a nurse who lived in the city. And they contacted her. She said she had no idea of any of this, didn't recognise the guy, didn't know what was going on. And that's it.
That's all anybody knows.
And this man has never been identified.
That is very odd, isn't it?
They found some other odd things. They found his clothes had a particular type of stitch in them.
Right.
Which at the time was only made in America.
Oh.
So they figured he'd come from America. And apparently people said he looked British. I don't know what that means.
How can you look British?
Maybe he had like a Union Jack tattooed on his face or something.
Wearing a bowler hat.
He had this stitch, and they were like, oh, maybe he bought some clothes that come from America. But no, apparently this stitch was only used if you had clothes redone.
Yes.
Yeah. So they were like, oh, he must have been in America at some point. And the other weird thing is they found over the years that he had a peculiar like a dental thing.
Right.
Like he had like a peculiar tooth formation.
Yeah.
Coupled with, I think, a peculiar shaped ear.
Oh.
Which they've said they've tracked. It's like one.
Can't they do something now?
Well, they're working on it.
Oh, good.
But the kind of state legal system it has to be in the public interest.
Right.
I think a couple of professors are looking into it nowadays, and they're like, we could exhume the body and take DNA. But apparently, there's percentage-wise, there's very, very, very few people in the world who would have that combination of tooth and ear thing. And that's the big...
Is there anyone else we can find who's got that combination of tooth and ear?
That's the thing. There is a theory. So this has kind of captured the imagination of the world. No one is sure who this person is. It's just a very long prevailing kind of unsolved mystery. And one of the theories is that the nurse who the contact details were in this book.
Yeah.
Apparently, apparently her daughter says that she lied.
Sure.
That she did know who this man was.
Well, how would he know her address?
Well,
and name.
That's the thing. But that nurse, had owned a copy of that same book of poetry.
So it was potentially her old book.
Possibly. Although they were able to track down her old book, apparently. And it wasn't that one.
I understand.
But she was a military nurse during the Second World War. And there is a theory, the prevailing theory, is that this man was in some way involved with the military and may even have been a spy.
Right.
And she had... I was going to say, she could speak Russian.
Right.
And she never explained to anyone why or how she could speak Russian.
Yeah,
that was a bit unusual.
she knew something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's also a theory that, like, this man was maybe the father of her daughter. Mm-hmm. And she was married.
Right.
But there's like a thing. It was only a few years after the war, blah, blah, blah. So it's possible it was like an old lover she'd had who was kind of like possibly a spy as well. You can see why this has kind of captured people's imagination.
It is interesting.
But
I'm trying to come up with a theory.
Well, right now at the moment,
I'm not getting very far.
Like the grandson of that lady is like, I want to have a DNA.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I want to have my DNA compared with that man.
Yeah,
like, was he my granddad or whatever?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's come. So either somebody's saying nothing, and they know. Like maybe,
that'd be interesting to figure out.
But nowadays, what's weird, looking back at it now, because people still look into this.
Yeah.
All the original evidence has disappeared.
Right.
From the police.
Mysteriously.
The library, which would keep a record of all police notes, has nothing.
Right.
And the suitcase the man has disappeared as well.
Sure.
Like, everything associated with... All we have now is his body, presumably.
How did he die, then?
That's a very good point. They are not entirely sure.
Oh.
That's the thing. They think the leading theory, and with what we've learned years later, is simply that it was poison.
Right.
He was poisoned. They know his last meal was a pasty.
Lovely.
But they don't think the poison came from the pasty.
No.
They think it may have been digitalis, which would stop the heart.
Yeah,
and apparently one of the symptoms of it is it causes enlarged organs when you die from it, which is something he had. His spleen was crazy big.
Ouch.
Also, his box of cigarettes. The cigarettes in the box were more expensive than the box. So there's a theory that the cigarettes were poisoned.
Yeah.
And
someone had replaced them.
Yeah. So there you go. A mystery.
That is a mystery. Well, I thought you were going to ask me to figure it out at one point. I was quite worried that I literally didn't have a clue how to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm saying there's no pressure here, but if you could solve it
if I could solve it in the next 20 minutes, that'd be useful.
You like a cryptid, don't you? You like a mystery animal.
Why not? I could be a mystery animal.
According to... I want to hear your thoughts. According to that pinnacle of journalistic integrity, The Echo.
Oh, The Echo.
Which is arguably one of the worst websites I've ever seen.
Oh, I keep having to skip that survey.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It went straight to like an advert for handbags or something. When I was,
local newspapers are on their arse.
Well, they're all run by this. They're all run by the same.
Yeah, the websites certainly are.
Like This Is Gloucestershire.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, giant black cat.
I saw this. Yeah, it never is though, is it? That's happened so many times. One time it was a cuddly lion. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
The police went and were like approaching it, and it turned out it was a cuddly lion.
Yeah, they had like sniper.
Yeah, they were ready to go. They had the choppers out.
No, I'm no expert, but if I was a police sniper and my heat vision goggles...
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Ridiculous.
I'm fascinated by the idea of like big cats because I don't understand why people are so... Like, because there are people who are like, not even just like, oh, I saw a black cat. Nobody believes me, but I saw it. There are people who are like hunters.
Yeah.
Like there's a...
I can't get it.
There's a guy who's like, I've devoted my entire life to tracking down giant black cats in the Gloucestershire area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you've been doing this for 50 years...
That's a weird thing to dedicate your life to.
You've been doing this for like 5 decades, and your success rate is 0.
It's probably not any black cats.
Yeah, I mean, statistically...
Or you're incredibly bad at it.
Yeah, statistically, you'd find at least one.
Even through
yeah.
dumb luck, you would
Yeah.
you would stumble across one.
Yeah, like
I'd like to think it wouldn't take me 50 years.
Yeah.
And I don't really care.
It's like if you're I don't know, if you're a train spotter, you'd like to see at least one in your life.
I'd like to see a train, sure.
Yeah, but I was looking at like the footage, or not footage, but like still photos. Why are they always so blurry?
Yeah, funny that.
You know what I mean?
Funny that.
Yeah, it's like all these photos of like the cat, and there was one, and it was like it was like in a wood, which automatically makes it spooky.
Yeah.
But there was like a shape on the ground,
Yeah.
and it was kind of black.
Literally be anything.
But it's like if this photo were real and given the perspective of where the person taking it was and where the creature was, it would have been maybe like 12 feet away. And it was kind of like lying on the ground. And it's so blurry.
It's probably a log.
But I'm like,
That's what he's saying.
in reality, if you came across a black panther in a forest and it was 12 feet away, lying on the ground, would you take your camera out?
No.
And take a photo? No, you'd be running.
People just want to sell photographs.
Well,
it's like the scumbags on eBay who sell things by Straczynski. It's the same principle. Although I tried to sell a photo to the Sun not so long ago of a barbecue sauce stain. Nearly worked.
At least you're not claiming it's a mythical barbecue.
No. Not anymore, I'm not.
Giant black cat spied on my shirt.
Yeah. Oh!
I do love that weirdness. Like but I love more like the idea of the weirdness. But if there were actually like black cats living and breeding in, you know what I mean? Like you can't hide.
They wouldn't be able to hide because they're not there.
No.
People need to get a grip.
Yeah.
They're just trying to sell newspapers.
But I'm fascinated by the obsession with it.
It's like
it doesn't go away.
The red tops in this country always come up with, what's this weird alien fish? It's a fish.
Yeah.
The sea's really big. So, you're bound to find some stuff you've not seen before.
Yeah.
That's it,
It's like there's a weird, like... I remember seeing, like... It's on YouTube, I think, but there was, like, a weird type of shark.
Oh, yeah.
It was very... Like, people thought it was extinct.
Right.
Like, it was...
Just rocked up. Hey, I'm back.
It's like a long, thin shark with, like, a bulbous head. And it kind of swam a bit like an eel.
Okay.
And people were like, oh, yeah, it's extinct. We found, like, fossils of it. And then one just swam into a bay.
That's brilliant.
And it was dying.
Oh.
It wasn't...
That's not so good.
I've travelled a very long way.
Yeah.
It took me 84 million years to get... But, like, there's footage of it, like, people swimming next to it, and it's just like...
Yeah.
It didn't look well.
Look at this! No,
Yeah.
I can imagine. You wouldn't after 84,000 years travelling across the sea.
Well, it's like, the giant squid.
I do.
It's like, I think, and someone could correct me here, but there's also, like, a colossal squid.
Yeah.
And the only evidence we have that it exists is that we found whale corpses
With it
sucker marks on it.
Oh.
And that's the only
yeah.
measure we have of it.
So how big would it be?
It's something crazy. Like, It's like 50 metres long or
Really?
something like that.
Good God. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine coming across one of those.
I mean...
Someone will one day.
I mean, if it's going to exist anywhere on the planet, then like a mile under water is about...
It's more than likely in the water, I would say.
Because, they don't have bones. They can be all soft and squidgy.
Yeah.
Anything,
I wish I had no bones.
Anything can float,
In the sea.
in the sea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Wise words.
Another fun fact for you.
Go on.
Sperm whales.
Oh.
You get like... there's two types of whales.
Yes.
There are toothed whales, which have...
whales with teeth.
And you have the baleen whales.
Whales without teeth.
Yes. They don't have teeth. They have great big... kind of like made of the same stuff as hair.
I know. Yeah,
I've seen baleen
them.
plates,
I know.
and they're like sieves. So, for example, like a blue whale is baleen. It's like a filter feeder.
Sure.
So it's massive.
It absorbs them.
Yeah, it's massive, but it opens its mouth, takes a big mouthful of water, pushes the water
Gets
out,
as much fish
eats
as it
like
can.
10 million shrimp.
That's all right, isn't it? That's a good meal.
It's not bad. But toothed whales, like sperm whales, for example, are quite different. They have a very different body shape. They have a great big kind of like square. I have a sperm whale tooth on the shelf just over there, which I
can't crick my neck that far.
I'll show you after the podcast.
I'll look at it shortly.
My granddad brought that back from a whale station, whaling station.
A whaling station.
Yeah, a whaleway station.
Yeah. That's good.
But yeah, sperm whales, they're grey. They're big. They have these great big kind of like square heads.
Right.
And they spend, because they're toothed, they're more like hunters. They do hunt and eat squid.
Gotcha.
But they're bizarre because we see them in the brief moments when they come up for air. Like out of all the whales, these ones in particular can hold their breath for like
Underwater
a crazy long time. So they come up, we see them, we observe them, take photos and everything, and they go back down. One of the most interesting facts I learned about them is that we have an idea of what they look like, which is like a great big square, like Moby Dick, big square, square.
The big lump on their forehead.
What's
the white?
That's a beluga.
Beluga whale, thank you.
Yeah.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Great big head, tail. But if that whale spends 95% of its time like a mile underwater, the pressure is incredible. So one of the interesting facts I learned is that they're going to be squished and their bodies are kind of soft. So when we see a sperm whale, it's in the 5% of its life where it's up at the surface level.
So it probably looks nothing like that.
That's a thing.
Underwater.
Yeah, it would probably be all like...
It's probably really handsome.
It could be.
It's probably like a really good looking guy.
Looks like a squid.
Yeah, looks like a colossal squid. Yeah,
man, it's terrifying down there.
I bet a colossal squid would be delicious.
It probably would be delightful.
It'd take a hell of a lot longer to cook than your calamari.
It would,
but it'd be worth it.
You could probably walk through a calamari ring.
Oh,
can you imagine?
Imagine. That sounds delicious. We should go find one, John.
We should
eat it. Delicious.
I do like squid. Deep fry, little squid, lemon squid.
I love them.
It's delightful.
Yes.
On that
endorphins.
On that note,
lovely sneeze.
Do you think we've
How long have we done this podcast for, John?
I'll tell you, Chris Ray. Prior to editing,
you don't edit this that much.
Oh, well, I'm gonna with this one.
You're gonna have to put the time in, aren't
with
you?
The
spoilers. I apologise. That's my fault. Yeah.
47 minutes.
That's a good length.
That's fine.
People have probably had enough of us by now.
I think we've kind of squeezed out enough content.
Yes, I need another cider as well.
Delightful. Shall we?
Let's.
Well, until next time, you stay classy.
Nick Angel.